Happy Self Love Sunday, ladies. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that your journeys are going well. So, last week we started talking about getting physical, right? Let's move in our bodies, preparing ourselves for to actually just to smash our 2021 goals, right? And also, I feel like, moving our bodies is also a way to beat the winter blues because I don't know about you, but I do not like the winter. I am not good with snow. Um, but getting physically fit as well as, maintaining a healthy eating habits, really helps me get over those winter blues because then my mind is clear and my body's looking better, okay? So, along that lines, I really want to talk about a little bit more about the eating aspect of things, and here's why. Most of the questions that I get from my clients or people in general, right, is, what do you think about, keto, or what do you think about, juicing to lose weight, or what do you think about, there's all sorts of things, Nutrisystem, Slim Fast, and then on top of it, you have like the USDA recommends like people eat at least 10 servings of fruit and the vegetables, depending upon of course age, weight, and physical activities to reduce, heart disease and cancer and other illnesses, right? So you have all these plethora of information coming at you, because everybody's like, we have to do these things to reduce, heart disease and cancer as well as other illnesses. So it's like, I always get like, what do you think? And I think that it's a lot of information. I think that all of it can be overwhelming. But for me, and I just want to stop here though for 1 second and say, when I speak to you, I am talking solely from what I've seen work for me as well as some of my clients. Every person, every individual, is different. You should always, always, always consult a physician and a nutritionist. Okay. These are just things that have worked for me and the people that I used to work with, especially when I was doing personal training and boot camps and things of that nature. Okay. But back to, what I believe in keeping it simple. I believe that I don't do any of those fad things. I don't do all those supplement plans and stuff like that because I believe in eating for a lifestyle. If I'm not going to be able to maintain this, because consistency is what helps us in terms of fitness and being healthy in terms of eating, it's consistency. So if I'm not going to be able to consistently do that throughout the remainder of my life, then I'm not doing it. So I already know but this is me, right? I know I'm not going to maintain keto. I know I'm not going to do Slim Fast or Nutrisystem for the rest of my life. I'm not going to do that. But what I can do is I can eat a very healthy in terms of, so these are really my goals: to reduce sugar, to reduce sodium, and to reduce saturated fat. I don't cut out food groups. I change what I eat within that food group, right? Because it's not realistic to say I'm never, now ice cream is not my thing, but I'm going to just give you my thing, okay? There's a time every single month when I crave peanut M&Ms. I'm not going to give that up. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. So what I do is, I have it. That's my treat. And then, usually I don't need it anymore for the rest of the 3 weeks out of the month. So, and I move on from that. I'm not going to just say I'm never going to have that again. I don't, as far as carbs are concerned, 'cause that's a big thing with people. I don't cut carbs altogether. I just believe in eating complex carbs. I love sweet potatoes. When I talked about that also last week, people get into this. I don't cut the food groups. I change also how I prepare my foods. So I'm not frying anything. I'm not, greasing up the pan and deep frying. I'm not doing that. I mainly cook out of my air fryer because I just love it. And one of my favorite things to cook in my air fryer now is salmon, right? So it's changing how you prepare your foods as far as seasonings are concerned, right? You want to look for those that have low sodium. There is a company out there, and and now I'm gonna draw a blank because I'm gonna tell you about it. That actually prepares seasonings that are all natural, so you don't have to that the high sodium intake in it, right? That's very important how you season your foods. Also, you got to read the labels. I know it's like, I don't want to read the labels. Listen, we're already keeping this thing simple, right? We're not overthinking it. We're just looking on the back of things to see how much sugar is in it, so we know how much we're intaking in our bodies. Is very important, to reduce sugar. I always say that, in the coffee, try to learn to drink it black. I know it's hard, but my taste buds have changed, so I'm able to do that. The same thing with your tea. If you need that, then try to go to honey, right? So that's really what I'm after when I in terms of eating healthy, and I eat for a lifestyle, not for a moment. So now that I'm working on, and I talked about this last week, working on losing 50 pounds, right? I'm not just eating for these 50 pounds. I'm eating the way that I need to eat to maintain my weight loss journey throughout my life. So in other words, I am not cutting anything out. I'm just going back to eating the way I know is the right way to eat. So cutting out the fast foods, right? So if I want to be honest, I was, eating, indulging, just, like I said, DoorDash put a lot of weight on my ass. So, I'm eating out. So now I'm back eating at home. So in the mornings, I'm having oatmeal. I'm not adding a lot to it. I don't need to add anything to my oatmeal. I may sometimes add fruit to it. Sometimes I like green apples in it. And then also to get in here's how I really get in my vegetables and my fruit servings for the day. I love a veggie shake. They are my absolute favorites. It keeps me away from also using, supplements, vitamin and mineral supplements, and it's getting me to eat, actual real foods, right? So I go to Produce Junction. I gather up all my shake recipe, everything that I need, from carrots to celery. Again, I love the darker leaf greens, spinach, kale, mustard greens. I know it sounds weird to put mustard greens in a shake, but hey, I get it in. I don't taste it because the fruit usually overpowers it, whatever I put in there. That's also how I get in my fiber. We have to get fiber in our diets. That's also, I sneak all of it in there. And I just ensure that I get my intake and what I need for the day in that fruit smoothie. So for me, I can maintain eating 2 meals a day, 3 snacks a day that are no more than 100 calories, and replace one meal with that veggie shake. That I can maintain. I'm not overthinking it, right? It's just a matter of gathering up with recipes ahead of time before you go to the store. And I'm gonna tell you this: when I come home, especially for my parents, use your kids. This is what I do. I go to Produce Junction. We come back in this house, turn on some music, and everybody gets a station. Everybody's chopping, right? I usually clean all the fruits and vegetables off, and everybody has a station. We're chopping it up, and it's a way to get everybody incorporated in helping. And I usually put them all in the baggies, but I have my Ziploc freezer bags already, and we plop everything in. I make the baggies and I put them in the freezer. Now usually I in one shopping trip, I do a month worth and fill up my freezer. So that way I take the guesswork out. I walk in, and this is what I do. I walk to that freezer, I put it out, put it in my NutriBullet, add the other things I'm going to add to it, like my fiber. And I also take stuff for my skin and my hair and all that. But that all goes in the shake. I take out the guesswork, plop it all in there, right? I blend it with water, and that's another thing we're going to get into. I blend it with water only. I don't use coconut water. I don't use any juices, plain spring water. Okay, mix it up, and I'm on the go. Right? So I take out the guesswork by being prepared. I already know that if I go to the grocery store and I buy all these things and I just leave them as they are in the refrigerator, I'm not going to feel like cutting that up every day. So take a Friday night or Saturday or Sunday, whenever you find that little time that you have to do that, and then, get in there with your family. I think that's so important because here's the thing, we're also leaders in our home, right? And I believe that leaders lead by example, not by talking about it, by being about it. So then you're showing them, how they can also prepare, for their lives when they get older, and have their own families, okay? It's just a way, it's a bonding time too, because when we're all in it together, we're talking, or sometimes my kids are talking and I'm just being nosy, right? And I'm listening to them, right? So it's a way to get everybody incorporated in, and then it helps everything move faster. Usually we're pretty much done unless we're like just playing around. Within a half an hour we're finished, kitchen is cleaned up, and we've moved on. Now I'm gonna be honest, I don't do as much meal prepping anymore because my kids are older now. When they were younger, I would meal prep on Sundays. I would put all the chicken breasts in, and the only thing I would do fresh was my vegetables, but I would bake all the sweet potatoes, cut everything up, and put them in bowls so I can just like go. And my kids were also in sports, so it was a way for me to have their dinner ready, because normally when they came home from school, we were like on the run. But I didn't always want to stop at, Chick-fil-A or McDonald's and give them that. So it was like a way for me to have everything prepared where when they came home from school, and I know I had the luxury of working from home, their dinner was done and they were ready. They could eat, at that moment. But the crock pot was also my best friend too. I would in the morning just throw the meal in the crock pot, the whole thing, you know what I mean? And then leave it on low all day. When I came home, dinner was done. But what I'm saying to you is it takes preparation. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. What that means is if you prepare ahead of time, there's nothing that can defeat you or get in your way. You are prepared. You're ready to go. Your food is ready to go. Have an idea in your mind, what it is that you want to eat for dinner. Have an idea in your mind, about how you want to proceed with your day. You need to prepare for that. That's why I said to you last week when we talked about it, I talked about the fact that every single day, even today, I'm going to the gym. My clothes is laid out, down to my sports bra, my underwear, my socks. Everything is laid out. I take out the guesswork. If you want to be successful, take the guesswork out. Because then you don't have a reason to fight, because it is not your body. It is not outside resources. It is your mind that stops you from succeeding. It is nobody else. It is you. It is your mind. And if you give it a reason to talk yourself out of it, like not being prepared, then your mind is going to talk you out of it. Everybody can't produce that willpower all the time. Listen, I feel like I'm the toughest woman that I know, but sometimes I can't muster up that willpower. And because I know that about myself, I prepare. Then I'm looking at my clothes like, you don't have no excuse. Get your butt up. Let's go. Right? So I take that out, even down to on my table, my keys, my wallet, my towel, my cup, because I have a special water bottle that I like to use. And my mat is sitting there. It's waiting for me. You have to prepare. But I want to say you have to keep things simple. Eat for a lifestyle. Stop with these, I need to fit into this dress. Well, you will fit into that dress if you maintain eating healthy for a lifestyle as opposed to a moment, right? Because then you keep yourself consistent as well as working out. So let's talk about what my plate looks like. Because again, making sure I get in my vegetable intake, my dinner plate is half of it's filled with vegetables. It's like, and then I have, whatever protein I'm going to have, which for me, I love salmon. That's kind of like my thing. But it could be also a chicken breast, as well as I'm just going to tell you right now, I don't eat pork at all. That's not my thing. But I do love fish, and I like turkey. Sometimes I'll do a lean turkey and or chicken, but I really, really lately have been kind of veering away from the meat. And that's again, because I think that's my next step in my journey. Is cutting back on meats, because I feel so much better when I do. So that's the other thing too, right? As you experiment, you're going to start to see what feels better in your body. Okay. So again, what feels better in my body is cutting out all white products, no white flour, no white rice, no white potatoes, no white bread. I am whole grain, whole wheat only. Now, again, everybody has different dietary needs, but for me, that's what I gravitate to. I love bagels. Okay, I know I can't have, the regular bagel. So I go by the bagel thins, which I absolutely love. I pop it in the toaster. They're 110 calories, and I'll have that. And then, that's sometimes I'll have that before I go to the gym in the morning. It's simple and it's easy. Even down to my coffee cup. My coffee cup sits on my Keurig in the morning, and I'm just like, everything is prepared the night before. So then again, I'm taking out the guesswork. And when I'm setting myself up for success, I feel successful. After I work, now let me tell you, just to be real honest, in the morning, sometimes I am not the best morning person. Like, I'm not gung ho all the time about going out the door. But I will tell you that after I've worked out, I feel amazing. And for my people who are physically active, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you one tidbit. The one thing you want to do is have your post workout meal or shake or whatever that, because, I used to do when I'm lifting heavy weights, make sure I have my, BCAAs and all that stuff, like 30 minutes, no less than 30 minutes after you work out. You want to get that post workout meal in. You want to, fuel your body. So that's my one little nugget for those who, work out. Usually I make sure, 30, even if I'm driving to a gym and I know I'm going to be more than 30 minutes, I have that meal or whatever, that post recovery meal with me in my car. And that could be as simple as a Subway sandwich. I'll use Subway sandwich, but you can, make this at home, right? So you have your whole wheat bread, maybe some turkey breast, and you want to fill it with as much vegetables like spinach, your onions, peppers, all that. You want it filled with that stuff. And I tend to use sweet peppers. And the reason why is that means I won't have to have mayo. That kind of gives me a little bit of juiciness in there and some crunch. So so there's no mayo or mustard on my sandwich. Okay. So that could be is my post workout meal. The other thing is water. I'm going to tell you right now. One of the ways to be successful is drinking water. Now, usually I usually get up to a gallon some days, but not all the time. But the most important thing is that you want to have at least 8 glasses of water per day. You want to flush your system out. Water, first of all, water is just great because it clears up my skin. Again, I feel better drinking water. I don't drink soda. If I do, I may drink wine. I haven't been lately. I don't cut alcohol out, but there is a time like now. So this is where I will tell you that when I'm in that weight loss phase, I do cut back heavily on alcohol. So that's what I'll say. In the weight loss phase, I'll cut back, but I am not eliminating, right? So I may cut back my carb intake, but I'm not eliminating. Okay. So I think that's important to say. I cut back on my amount of, eating those unhealthy snacks. I cut back on my peanut M&Ms, people. I cut back, but I can't take them out. It's just that thing. That's just my one thing. Dairy, again, I don't do milk. I don't do yogurt. For my body, when I cut dairy out, especially from working out, right? I just felt so much better because, of course, dairy causes mucus and inflammation in the body. So I cut that out. Now, I will have cheese. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I need a little cheese. But for the most part, that's about it. Okay. So I just think that it's very important to understand to keep it simple. Keep it simple. Don't overwhelm yourself with all these plans and this diet. I'm going to say that if you really need some type of structure, I do love Weight Watchers. They have an app you can put on your phone. You put in it's points according to your age and your weight and your goals, right? You can just plug in your exercise. You can plug in what you eat for the day, and it tells you how many points you have. I think that is 100% awesome. I really do. Because what it's doing is it's saying you're not cutting out any food groups, but it tells you like, okay, but if you're gonna have this, that's all you're gonna be able to have for the rest of the day. So it helps you think about what you're putting in your body a little bit better. And it also has free foods, right? So when you go, if you need to go to Chick-fil-A, because sometimes I need to go there, but if you have the grilled chicken nuggets, right, that's free. Right, that's I'm like, oh my God, I can have that. It's free, with Weight Watchers. I did use Weight Watchers at one point in time. Now that I know better, I just kind of know what to do. But if you are newly in this phase, I do love that. And I think they have a program with the app is like the first 3 months are free. You can earn points and stuff like that with them. And no, I'm not a part of Weight Watchers or any sort of sponsor, so I'm not getting any money. I'm just saying that I like that as a way of keeping things simple, so you're not overwhelmed with all this stuff. But if you choose any of those plans, that's okay. I feel like you have to choose what's best for you, but I feel like you have to have the mindset of, if I'm not gonna, right now I'm in my 40s, so I'm gonna use that as a reference, right? If I'm not gonna do it in my 50s and 60s, I'm not gonna do it now. I want to maintain consistency throughout my life. Okay, I can consistently not eat white products for the remainder. I can consistently consume a veggie and fruit shake, throughout the rest of my years as a meal replacement. That these are things that I can consistently do. I can consistently work out. Right? So that's the mindset. What can you do? Because consistency is the key. Consistency is the key to getting to your goals, walking it out every single day. When you walk it out every single day, miraculously, you're going to see the changes. Or people are going to see them in you, because we're generally always so much harder on ourselves. We're like so hard on our bodies. So we may not see it as quickly as someone else, but then, people start to see it. And it's walking it out every day. The problem that we're having in today's society, I speak, everybody talks about like Americans. It's not just Americans, just being honest with you. It's overall, the problem that we're having is we live in a microwave popcorn society where everybody wants everything quick. I want to lose it tomorrow. Well, you didn't put it on in a day. If you gained weight like I did, I put it on consistently over a year. So I'm not going to be like, well, I'm going to get the 50 pounds off in a week or 2 weeks. And if not, I'm not going to be, it's like, no. You have to put yourself in this mind frame to stop beating yourself up about it. Get over the fact that happened, right? It happened. We lost track. I lost track. I was a former trainer. Not just a wellness coach, not just a trainer, personal trainer, boot camps. Let all these women, I say, the glory, right? The glory of discovering themselves, the glory of discovering their bodies, right? Losing weight or maintaining, this healthy lifestyle. And I lost track. Mentally, I was off. I stopped preparing. I stopped being consistent. I fell into a rut, and I put on 50 pounds in the year. So if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. So let's stop beating ourselves up about it and say, now what? So what? We put it on. Now what are we going to do? Are we going to just sit around and just soak in it? Or are we going to finally make that decision to say, I'm going to get the eyes back on the prize. I'm going to set myself up for success. And by 2021, I want to, have lost this certain amount of weight. Or by 2021, I want to be consistently just on a physical program. Or by 2021, I want to be consistently eating healthy. Doesn't always have to be about weight loss, right? I know a lot of skinny fat people, which means they eat like crap. A lot of fast food because their metabolism, which is genetic, right? It burns it off. But that doesn't mean they're healthy. They have the risk of heart disease just as much as an obese person. Okay, so maybe your goals are that. That's fine. But now is the time for us to get up off our butts, because listen, we know what COVID has done. But if it should be teaching you after we get past the mental phase, because I'm recognizing that puts you in a mental state, right? I understand that. But once we've gotten past that, because we understand now this is what it is, it should be teaching us that we need to build our immune system. How do you do that? By eating healthy and working out. It can be just as simple as that. And I get that we have the black seed oil and the Irish sea moss and the oil of record. We have all those other supplements that people are now like, add this in. But they are not a supplement for you getting your butt up off the couch. They're not a supplement for you choosing to eat healthier. What it's saying to us, what it should be saying to us is we have to get a grasp on our health. Not just our physical health, our mental health is very important, because it is the mental part that is the hardest. Our bodies can do anything. It is the mental. So, how do we get our mental in that state? Let's talk about that. And I will, I'm going to probably elaborate a little bit more on this, right? Because I think that's important. The very first thing people do in the morning, majority of people, is turn on their phones and their TVs to get to any sort of news or gossip type source, right? And why I say that is because when you go through that Facebook feed or that Instagram, all that is like looking at everybody else's life, right? You're going through looking at everything else and everybody else. The very first thing you should do in the morning is not that. It should be listening to something positive and or meditation to begin your day. Why? When I'm meditating, I am setting myself up for my day. 9 times out of 10, it puts me in a healthy state of mind, right? I'm going within. Sometimes I'm giving myself that pep talk before I'm heading to the gym. That, I'm bold, I'm courageous, I can do this, right? I'm giving myself that pep talk for the day. I'm going, sometimes mentally going through my day in my mind. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything's going to pan out. I'm not saying that, but I'm getting myself in the zone, right? I'm listening to, motivational speakers and because I'm faith-based, sometimes I'm listening to faith-based stuff. Now, if I need to like really, really hone in and get that real push, I have like my go-to people like Billy Allsbrooks, who, when I'm listening to him in the morning, or Eric Thomas, they call him the E.T., the hip hop preacher, you know what I mean? If I'm listening to him, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to lift all the weights, right? So that, to me, you have to, it's about preparation. Start listening to those things. Find those people on YouTube. And 9 times out of 10, when you start shifting your energy in a positive way, those things will start to gravitate to you too, right? So you have to, just like I prepare my clothes, just like I prepare my meals, I prepare my mind. It starts first thing in the morning. I'm listening to something positive and I'm meditating to begin my day. Okay, even if you haven't got to the point of meditation yet, that's fine. Get to the point of only reaching for your phone to click on YouTube to listen to whatever that is positive. If you don't have Audible, because there's many different ways you can listen to things, but YouTube just happens to be my bag, because I found all my good people on there. And I will do a video one day to talk about all those individuals that I listen to, just to give you some examples. And some people to possibly go out and start searching into. I will give you faith and non-faith based, because I believe that, you can get positive energy from all different sources. I listen to the message 9 times out of 10, not shooting the messenger, because I think that's the problem. A lot of people miss the message because they're so busy focused on the messenger and their judgment of that messenger. Okay. So again, we start off in first thing in the morning, and I'm listening to something positive. If I'm going to the gym, I'm listening to something positive that's in the car till I get to the gym. Now, after I work out, I'm usually in a good state. So, I'm listening I'm still in happy, joy. I don't need the news. Not if I want to find out what the weather's going to be, I have a weather app. The reason why I don't listen to the news is 9 times out of 10, It's something very negative that's going to show up. It's I can give you the news in a nutshell. Let's hate one another. Somebody's killing somebody. It's, showing, people who are more, they find particular people who are more, I would say, they can get a news story from. So they may appear, ignorant. They choose a certain clip to basically gear your mind. That's the news. I didn't grow up with the news being like that, but that's the way it is now. It's the buzz. How can I manipulate this person's minds into hating this group of people or hating this person? But the thing that drives me crazy is that's not the real world. Do things happen? Yes. But 9 times out of 10, people are not walking around here just, hating one another. It's because of the things that you're listening to, because of the things you're putting in your mind. That's why that energy is feeding off of you. You have to get your mind away from that. At least give yourself, if you're going to do it, maybe do it in the afternoon, but at least give yourself a good head start in the morning where you're listening to something positive to set your day on a great course. And it is playing loud enough so my kids can hear it. Now, 9 times out of 10, they may throw on their little music, child, and that rap music drive me nuts. But, for the most part, they still hear what their mother is listening to. And it's setting them up. It's planting those seeds. It's planting those seeds to let them know life is not all doom and gloom. And no one has the ability to stop your success but you. Nobody. No one is God. So set yourself up in the morning. Listen to something positive to get you started. Okay. If you need to listen to news and, try to do it in the afternoon. And I also don't recommend listening to it before you go to bed, because sometimes when you're listening to that stuff before you go to sleep, that's all in your subconscious. That's the last thing that's in your mind. So, I find for me, I was dreaming about that stuff. I had to let that go. So before I go to bed, I'm usually reading. That's not to say that I don't watch, shows. I love shows like Black Love. I love anything that's comedy. I love to laugh, but I usually end my day on something that's lighthearted. I love looking at the dynamics of people because, psychology is my thing. I'm a life coach for women. I teach women how to love themselves so they can get that relationship that they want, so they can, succeed on that job that they want, right? So they can succeed in their homes on a daily basis, so they can succeed in whatever their goals are in terms of, health and wellness as well. So I love looking at things like that. I love seeing the dynamics of how people work. So, I do have that, but I try to keep it on the lighter side. I don't want that negative energy swarming me. Sometimes it's funny because when I used to watch it, I used to be angry for no reason. I'm, watching certain things on TV, and then I'm in the store and I'm peering at, people, and it's well, why? Why am I like that? That's not how I am. At the core of who I am, I love to love on people. So why am I feeling that? And usually it's because of something that I've been listening to. You think that you cannot be manipulated? Are you kidding me? Listen, companies spend millions upon billions of dollars for advertising. Why? Because they know that they can capture your mind by that advertisement. They shape you. They choose prices based upon that. $19.99. There's a reason why they use those nines. All of it is a manipulation tool. So the way to combat that is to gain control of your mind, to step away from that. I found that when I was in my rut, when all this stuff was happening with my mind again, what I would find myself I was doing more? I was binging more on television. I was binging more on social media. I hardly touch my social media now, only to kind of put out information as opposed to taking things in. I was more into that. I was falling off my consistent regimen, So I say all this to say that you have to gain control of your mind, give yourself a healthy start to your day. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Remember the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. You want to set yourself up for success. Put your stuff out at night. Cut your vegetables, whatever. Prepare yourself. When you go shopping, clean your meats, clean your vegetables, so you can set yourself up for, success throughout the week. Okay? I really, really am excited for my journey. I hope that you are getting excited for yours. If you have questions, concerns, or are interested in coaching, reach out to me, moesassfitness at gmail.com, MOES as in Sam, ASS fitness at gmail.com. I am here for you. I really, really want to help you on your journey. I just think that it's so important for us to get here. I believe that the women are the healers of this earth. I don't take away from my men. I love them. But ladies, we are. We're the nurturers. We're the healers. But we got to nurture and heal ourselves so we can do that for our families. Okay? I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I love you for listening, and I will talk to you next week.